Hi, my name is Abraham and I'm your big brother in recovery, coming back to you with hopefully another educational video. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please by all means press the like button, subscribe, because we definitely want you to subscribe so you can be informed on everything that we do new, and the bell obviously will alert you to when the new ones come out. And by all means, please share this with your friends that are in recovery right now, because we are in an amazing time. If you're an optimist like me, this is a great time. If you're a pessimist right now, you're looking at these as being tragic and really, really bad times right now. But the optimist always sees the silver lining in the cloud. That's what I choose to do, simply because, you know, as those of you who have been following me and know me personally, my job is to help transform your thinking, because I understand if I help you transform your thinking, you will transform your life. Why do I say that? Because on this channel, we don't talk about drugs. We talk about the main problem of the person who is suffering from alcoholism. And page 23 in your big book alludes to it and spells it out perfectly. If you go to page 23, I'm already running, right? Page 23 in your big book, and if you look at 3 lines down from the first paragraph, it says, therefore, the main problem of the alcoholic centers in his mind rather than in his body. They didn't leave out the body, but they also included the main problem being the mind. Because if you recall, and forward to the first edition, it says, we of Alcoholics Anonymous are more than 100 men and women who have recovered from a seemingly, what appears to be, hopeless, void of hope, state of mind and body. Why? Your mind is killing your body, and your body is killing your mind. So we're going to get into that, and I want to piggyback on the last video I did, but obviously I want to let you know the success, and thank all of you who are watching these videos, the success and the encouragement that you are empowering me with as a result of it, leaving me comments, a plethora of different comments, and I'm appreciative of it, because as I often say, I'm humbled by it, because in my 39 and a half years, the more I learn, the less I find out I know. That's why I always use the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous as our precipice, or as our point of origin of our discussion, because merely opinions are like garbage cans. Everybody has one. Now that's been out of the way, I need to address one more thing, tell you what has happened since we released the last video about help us, help others. Many of you have stepped up to the plate, and we were able to get 300 people to invest in purchasing our Sobriety Society mask online. And I'm grateful for you to do that, because now it is a standard order that we must wear masks right now because of the COVID-19 virus that is out here in our world. I want to read, and I want to continue to tell you, continue to wear your face mask, and by all means continue to practice the social distancing, the 6 feet amongst yourself, because we don't want to be foolish. You remember foolish faith or presumption? Yes, I have faith, but I don't want to be foolish, and I don't want to presume that this is not true, right? So protect yourself. Thank you for all of those of you out there, you 300 people who have purchased our masks, and those of you, you still have time to go to Sobriety Society International, INTL, and click the icon on the top of the page that says merch, and purchase your mask and support us and what we're doing, and it'll help you to help yourself and protect yourself as well as others. Now I want to get right back into part 2 of the video that we did prior to the PMA, the PSA, the public service announcement about the mask. We did the video about recover recovering, and recovered. Many people in the rooms don't believe that we do recover. They don't believe that I have recovered. They are stuck on ing, recovering. I hope I've proved to you thus far, because remember, opinions are like garbage cans. Everybody has one. Who are you going to believe, me, or are you going to believe the people who wrote the book? I choose to believe the book. That's why people listen to me, because I don't give my opinion and I have the efficacy or the results to back me up, because I'm quick to say, open up your book to page so-and-so. So I've showed you in several places in your big book. As a matter of fact, in your big book, the word, if you remember, recover, just recover, which simply means to bring back to a normal state and condition, is in your book 25 times, the word recover. And as I told you, I didn't even get into the 12 and 12. It's in there 6 times. Now we're going to look at the word recovered, ED. That's in your big book 16 times, but it's in your 12 and 12, 4. Now notice this. Now this is interesting. Both recover, bring back to a normal state and condition, and recovered, they mean the same thing. But the word recovering is simply the process to recover or to be recovered. I have recovered. I don't know about nobody else. And I gave you the analogy about a Chicago police officer I sponsored once who had got wounded in the line of duty. But guess what? 8 weeks later, he recovered from a gunshot wound. However, he's not bulletproof. So I have recovered, but I am not alcohol proof, right? But what has happened, my mind no longer controls my body. My spirit controls my mind. Now, I want to show you something I didn't show you the last time. If we don't recover, then we'll talk about recovered in a minute. Something we quote all the time. People have memorized it, but they never paid attention to it. Page 58, the first paragraph, would be obsolete. Let's look at it. It says something we always read. Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Those who do not, there it is, recover, are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to this simple program. Usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. They are such unfortunates. They're not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. They are naturally incapable of grasping and developing a manner of living which demands rigorous honesty. Their chances are less than average. There are those too who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders. So there goes your PTSD and your MESA and all the other things, your depression. Notice what it says. But many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. Why? Honesty is the principle. We have to build the foundation. So today we're going to look at the 16 times the word recovered is in the big book. Now, I showed you recovering, and I showed you on the top of your 12 and 12, right here. It says, AA co-founder of Alcoholics Anonymous tells how members recover and how the society functions. Let's get ready to go. Would you kindly open up your book to what is called the story page. First page in the book. Look right here. It's right in the front of the book. Look what it says. The story of how many thousands of men and women have recovered. ED, not ING, ED, from alcoholism. Now I'm going to take you and just show you, so it won't be too lengthy of a video, where these are, and you can go back and look at them later and study with me that way, right? Go to forward to the first edition. Here comes 2 more times, right? I just showed you 1. Here comes 2 in 1 paragraph. Roman numeral 13, XIII, first paragraph. We of Alcoholics Anonymous are more than 100 men and women who have recovered ED from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. To show other alcoholics precisely how we have recovered, notice it's in italicized print, is the main purpose of this book. For them, meaning those who are trying to recover, we hope these pages will prove so convincing that no further authentication or proof will be necessary. We think this account of our experiences will help everyone to better understand the alcoholic. Many do not comprehend that the alcoholic is a very sick person. And besides, we are sure that our way, meaning the 12-step way of living, has its advantages for all who suffer from addiction, right? Now, let's go over, I'm just showing you what the book says. Let's go forward to the second edition, Roman numeral 15, XV. And let's take the second paragraph. 16 years have elapsed between our first printing of this book and the presentation in 1955 of our second edition. In that brief space, Alcoholics Anonymous has mushroomed into nearly 6,000 groups. Notice it didn't say 6,000 meetings, 6,000 groups, because guess what? A meeting is the gathering of two people. That's me and God. A group is three or more. The meeting could be me and God, or as the book said, the core of our recovery is the meeting between two persons who are in recovery. 6,000 groups whose membership is far above 150,000 alcoholics, recovered alcoholics. Notice, it's right there on your book. Now, I want to keep moving for the sake of time, because I know this is shocking and irritating and liberating for some of you, right? Let's go to Roman numeral 25, XXV, doctor's opinion. And let's look at the third paragraph in the to whom it may concern. And notice the doctor is talking about when he met Bill W. Notice what he's going to say. In the course of his third treatment, me and Bill, he acquired certain ideas concerning a possible means of recovery. We already saw Ebby gave him that in Bill's story. As part of his rehabilitation, he commenced to present his conceptions to other alcoholics, impressing upon them that they must do likewise with still others. This has become the basis of a rapidly growing fellowship of these men and their families. Watch this. This man, Bill W., and over 100 others appear to have, there it is, recovered, ED. All right, let's keep it moving. Page 17 is going to illustrate what we just read about Bill on page Roman numeral 25. If you read Bill's story, you'll see Bill worked all 12 steps in one day in the hospital bed. You need to go to my video called How Did Bill W. Recover? Because if I figure out how Bill W. recovered, I can recover. Now we're looking at page 17, first paragraph. We of Alcoholics Anonymous know thousands of men and women, equal opportunity, who were once just as hopeless as Bill. Remember, we recovered from a seemingly hopeless and helpless state of mind and body. Nearly all have recovered. Nearly is rarely. Nearly all have recovered. They have solved the drink problem. That's why we have a chapter called There is a Solution. Because guess what? We couldn't solve the problem if we hadn't had a solution. What's the solution? The solution is you need power. What's the problem? The problem is you're powerless. Guess what? Now you have to make the decision in step 3. Do you want the power? So from 3 on through 11 is the practical program of action. Page 20. First paragraph. You may already have asked yourself, why is it that all of us become so very ill from drinking? Illness, right? Doubtless you are curious to discover how and why. Remember on page 45, it talked about how are we going to find this power and where, how and why. In the face of expert opinion to the contrary, watch this. This is all the entertainers who have never worked the steps and who have never recovered telling you can't. Watch what it's going to say. In the face of expert opinion to the contrary, we have recovered from a hopeless condition of mind and body. If you are an alcoholic who wants to get over it, in other words, recover from it, you may already be asking, what do I have to do? It's the purpose of this book to answer such questions specifically. We should tell you what we have done, not doing, done. Before going into a detailed discussion, it may be well to summarize some points as we see them. So let's keep moving. You see all through this book, there's a common theme. Recovered, recovering, recovered, recovering. I mean, recover, recovered, recover, recovered. Watch this. Go to page 29, first paragraph. Further on, because they told you specifically how they were going to do it. Clear cut or simple or practical directions are given showing how we recovered. These are followed by 42 personal experiences, meaning the first 164 pages, as you know, were untouched. They change the stories as they upgrade the editions. You know, I don't know why so many people, it's all about thinking. You remember I told you my job is to help you transform your thinking, because we recover from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body because the main problem is in our mind rather than our body. Watch this. I know people that are more interested in relapse triggers when I'm trying to teach them recovery tools. Tell me what sense that makes. Go to page 44, last paragraph. If a mere code of morals or a better philosophy of life was sufficient to overcome alcoholism, many of us would have recovered long ago. In other words, you'd have did it if you would have knew, but you didn't know. That's why we're trying to tell you, check out our way of doing things. Page 90. I want you to look at 1, 2, 3, the third paragraph, but I want you to look at, well, let's just read the third paragraph. Sometimes it is wise to wait till he goes on a binge, meaning the newcomer. The family may object to this, but unless he's in a dangerous physical condition, it is better to risk it. Don't deal with him when he is very drunk, unless he is ugly and the family needs your help. Wait for the end of the spree, or at least for a lucid interval, a moment of clarity. Then let his family or a friend ask him if he wants to quit for good and if he would go to any extreme to do so. That's a powerful question. If he says yes, then his attention should be drawn to you as a person who has recovered. You should be described to him as one of a fellowship who, as part of their own recovery, try to help others and who will be glad to talk to him if he cares to see you. There it is right there. How can I help you recover if I haven't recovered? I'd like to draw your attention, that was powerful, to page 96. This is for sponsors and sponsees. Do not be discouraged if your sponsee or prospect does not respond at once. Search out another sponsee and try again. You are sure to find someone desperate enough to accept with eagerness what you offer. We find it a waste of time to keep chasing a man who cannot or will not work with you. Sounds like how it works. They cannot or they will not. If you leave such a person alone, he may soon become convinced that he cannot recover, that is, by himself. But watch ED comes. To spend too much time on any one situation is to deny some other alcoholic an opportunity to live and be happy. Now they're going to talk about Bill W.'s experience. One of our fellowship, Bill W., failed entirely with his first half-dozen sponsees. He often said that if he had continued to work on them instead of allowing God to do it, he might have deprived many others, who have since recovered of their chance. There it is, right in your book. Watch this. Go to page 113. First paragraph. Talking about the new man. If he is enthusiastic, your cooperation will mean a great deal. If he is lukewarm, meaning he hasn't made up his mind yet, or thinks he is not an alcoholic, we suggest you leave him alone. Avoid urging him to follow our program. Sounds like what we just read on 96. The seed has been planted in his mind. Because whatever you plant in his mind is going to grow, whether it's wheat, tares, poison, or vegetables, right? He knows that thousands of men, much like himself, have recovered. All right. I can hear some of the grumbling over there, but you know I'm telling you the truth. Like Muhammad Ali said, Abraham, I don't know what the hell I'm saying. I just know I'm right. Page 132. I use this all the time, but people get mad at me. Some don't. But watch this. Most never saw it. Last paragraph on the page from the bottom. Second paragraph from the bottom. Second paragraph on the page. So we think cheerfulness and laughter make for usefulness. Why? I can laugh at my past now. I don't have one. Outsiders sometimes shocked when we burst into merriment or joy over a seemingly tragic experience out of the past. Step 4 and 5 removes that. But why shouldn't we laugh? Here it is. We have recovered and have been given the power to help others. I can't help you if I haven't been helped. Last but not least, page 146, second paragraph. After your man has gone along without drinking for a few months, he's just dry. In other words, he clean, not sober. You may be able to make use of his services with other employees who are giving you the alcoholic runaround, provided, of course, they are willing, that principle, third step, desire, to have a third party in the picture. An alcoholic who has recovered but holds a relatively unimportant job can talk to a man with a better position, being on a radically different basis of life. He will never take advantage of the situation. Never take advantage of a person in recovery. In other words, your reward, here's an Abrahamism, will always be in direct proportion to your ability to help others, because guess what it's all about? When you help others, you help yourself. But I gotta first allow him to help me before I can help you, right? Now, I showed you the 16 places in the big book where the word recovered is. On the video prior when I started this, I showed you the 25 places in the big book where the word recover is. And they both mean the same thing, to bring back to a normal condition. And guess what? Our big book clearly said that. And I don't know if you missed it, but I'll show it to you again. To bring back to a normal condition, re-look at page 20 again. First paragraph. You may already have asked yourself why it is that all of us become so very ill from drinking. Watch this. Doubtless you are curious to discover how and why, in the face of expert opinion to the contrary, we have recovered from a hopeless condition, sounds like what the people said, of mind and body. If you are an alcoholic who wants to get over it, you may already be asking what you have to do. You have to take the steps. Why? I'll tell you why you have to take the steps. Ready for Abrahamism? Watch this one. There is an easy way and a hard way to recover from addiction. The hard way is to make support groups until they make sense. Just make a bunch of groups. But the easy way is to get a sponsor and work all the 12 steps at once and have a spiritual awakening or experience. Because our book says that's the only thing that's going to solve. If you remember on page 45, it tells us the last sentence on the first paragraph, if that be the case, you may be suffering from an illness, not a disease, which only a spiritual experience will conquer. So until you get to step 9, you can't have the experience, but the experience comes in 5. But watch this, I recover in the first 9 steps. I stay recovered 9 through 12. That's the ones I work every day. The first 9 keep me recovered, right? The first 9 I recover, and 9 through 12 keep me recovered on a daily basis, a daily reprieve, right? Recovering, I'm gonna show you something. This is gonna blow your mind. It's only in the big book twice. And I'm gonna show you the context, not the syntax, but the context in which it is. The first one is on page 104, and you will miss it if you never knew where it was. And everybody's telling you about ing instead of er and ed. Go to 104. Notice where it is on the chapter to the wives, down at the bottom where the asterisk is. Written in 1939, when there were few women in AA, this chapter assumes that the alcoholic in the home is likely to be a husband. But many of the suggestions given here may be adapted to help the person who lives with a woman alcoholic. Why? There are more than 100 men and women, equal opportunity. whether she is still drinking or, watch this, recovering in AA. A further source of help is noted on page 121. That's the first place in the whole book, the first 164 pages where the word recovering is. Now I'm going to show you the second place. Isn't that interesting? So they must have wanted you to recover. Page 122, and I'm coming home now. First paragraph, first sentence. Our women folk have suggested certain attitudes a wife may take with the husband who is recovering. Isn't that something? So, I want to conclude with something that I read from the great Warren Buffett. You will continue to suffer if you have an emotional reaction to everything that is said to you. True power is sitting back and observing things with logic. True power is restraint. If words control you, that means everyone else can control you. So guess what? Just relax and allow things to pass. Look, this is your big brother in recovery, Abraham. I hope I've showed you that we do simply recover. And just to top it off, for extra credit, go to the forward in your 12 and 12 and look at the asterisk on the bottom of page 15. In 2018, it is estimated that over 2 million have recovered through AA. So don't let nobody tell you can't recover, right? This is your big brother in recovery saying thank you. Continue to share this message. We do recover, that's the message. Please go to the website, buy some masks, help some people, leave me some comments. I love you, and I'll be looking out to get something out to you in the near future on something else that's educational, that'll empower, enlighten, and equip you as you pursue your transformation in your thinking. Thank you so much. Love you.